Tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. I love tomatoes. Welcome to Liva Buhay. Today I will be showing you a lot of tips about tomatoes. As you see, there are a lot of ways of growing tomatoes. First, you grow them by seeds. I have here tomatoes that I grow in seeds. I have lots of them indoor, and I just took out the 3 of them. And after like a month, they are just growing like that. They are growing very poorly. It's because it's the lack of sunlight when they are being grown indoor, and I cannot just put them out. It's because we have below 10 degrees during nighttime and they will die. Why I'm buying some already of my tomatoes, and they look so healthy. I bought them in a plant store, and I have a lot of reason why I bought them. Number one is because of this part of the tomatoes, this one, they are called suckers. Normally, one tip I can give you, when you have tomato, unless you want to use your suckers, they call them, and from the name of it, suckers, because they suck energy from the whole tomato. So if you will encounter like in the middle of in between the stem and the branch, that kind, you have to take it out. You have to take it out. And for example, like this part, you have to take it out. That is between the stem and the leaf of the tomato. Why you have to take them out? Because this one are called suckers. They suck the nutrients and vitamins that your tomato needs. So instead that the nutrients and the vitamins they need, they will be sucking it. You will be giving it to your tomato plant, especially if they are already starting to bear flowers. So as you see, this tomato is developing flower buds there on the top at the same time. Now, why I buy them when in fact I only actually bought 3 of them? Why I buy them when I have some that is grown in seeds? Yes, because I need the suckers. And as you see, normally you don't let them grow, but this sucker here, I will use it. I will use it to graft my very young grown tomato that is only been inside for like 2-3 weeks. And it's very important, when you take out the sucker, put them in a glass of water. So I have them here. So you put them in a glass of water so they will not dry out. And I will collect and take out all the suckers here. Here is another one. So I take it out and I save them inside this little glass of water. It's actually a glass for shots. And so I will do the same on the other tomatoes. So as you see here, I will take out. One thing, as I've said, if you see suckers in your tomatoes, you have to take them out because they will actually affect the growth of your tomatoes, and they will affect the growth and the quality of tomato fruits you have. And now, what will I use with this? Actually, there's a lot of use of tomato suckers. Number one, you can actually grow tomatoes through tomato suckers. So I know it's not cheap, especially if you're not in a, like for example in the Philippines, Asian countries, it's so easy to grow tomatoes and it's very fast, and it's because we have a lot of sunlight. But here in cold countries in Europe or in the USA, we are so dependent that if you want already a very nice tomato that is already flowering, you have to buy it in the store. And then when you buy it in the store, they are not cheap. So what I do, I use these tomato suckers for grafting. So it means that this is already a tomato that is already growing flowers on it, and those flowers will become this very nice fruits from like a month or 2 months from now maybe. And so it means that if I graft this tomato, and this I had already done a lot of times, 3 summer already I have done it, it means that if you graft this one to this very young tomato, this young tomato, I only use I only use it that I will graft it. So what I will do is I will use these suckers to graft it onto this very new, very small tomato. And it means that this tomato, when grafted with this, it will also bear flower, start to bear flower, because it came from this mature tomato that is already bearing flower, and that is my purpose. Another thing where you can use these suckers, and here I have another sucker here, which I have to take. I have to take it now because I want my tomato to be very healthy. I will take all the suckers there. So now this tomato will be much healthier. And I just save it here in my cute glass of water. And now, even if you don't want to be grafting, there's another way where you can get use of suckers. Number one, as you see, I have all these tomatoes in this glass of water. You can actually leave them near your window. If you cannot leave them outside, it's because it's still cold at night. You can leave them near your window. And after a week or two, these suckers will develop roots on it. When the time the suckers develops roots, then that is the time that you can transfer them in small pots. So you can actually transfer them in small pots, and as the time goes by, it's already warm outside, then that's the time you can actually transfer them outside. So that is one way of reproducing or growing tomatoes from another tomatoes. So I will say it again. You can buy one tomato, let the suckers develop. So as you see here, there is a sucker that is developing. This one here, this is a sucker, and they grow in between the stem and a leaf of the tomato. So this sucker, actually, I have to take it out. I will take this out. So by taking out the tomatoes, and until your tomatoes are growing, as long as your tomatoes, even they're already growing for like a meter or 2 meters, because there are tomatoes they're like bushes, and you continue to have a check on your tomatoes. As long as you see that there is a growing leaf in the middle, please take them out, because it is very good for your tomato to take them out. But if you want to buy a tomato for purposes of using the suckers, for purposes of reproducing more tomatoes, then you can just buy one plant. You let the suckers grow. So you let the suckers grow as big as this. They grow so fast, these suckers. So like after a week or two, your suckers will grow around 5-10 centimeters. And it's the time that you will put them in a glass of water, and after that, they will produce roots, and you can plant it. It means that if you buy only one tomato, you want to reproduce them, you can actually produce 5-10 tomato plant in one plant that is already, bearing flowers. So let them grow. And I just want to tell you, if you want to do that thing, it means it can affect your tomato plant. But if you want to buy a plant for purposes of reproducing more tomato plant, then you let the suckers grow until they are 5 centimeters and up, and then you can reproduce them. Now, after this, I can go on the next step, and that is how to graft mature tomato cuttings to your very young tomato.